Hello, everybody. This is David Nevins for Citybiz List, and thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we have a very special guest, and he is Carim Khouzami. And Carim is the president and CEO of BGE. Some of you remember BGE used to be Baltimore Gas and Electric, but it's BGE today. Anyway, Carim, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Nice to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. So I think most of our viewers know BGE as their provider of electric and gas, and I know you have well over 1 million customers in the region. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking with you today about some of BGE's community relations efforts and philanthropic efforts, if you don't mind.
That sounds great.
But before we do, Carim, you're relatively new, not that new anymore, but relatively new in your position. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your career, and your current role at BGE.
So sure. So again, thanks for having me. I am a lifelong Baltimorean, so I've lived in the Baltimore metropolitan area basically my whole life. Small stint up in New York City for about 5 years, but the rest of it's been in this area. I was fortunate to join Constellation Energy, so the company that used to own BGE, back in 2005. And since then, I've had a variety of roles in the financial, operational, strategic, external affairs space in Constellation, BGE, as well as Exelon, our current parent company. So I've been with the overall organization since 2005. I was fortunate to be named president and CEO of BGE in December of 2019. Had no idea that 3 months later we'd be facing a global pandemic. So it wasn't exactly how I thought it was going to play out, but it was a great opportunity, one that I was very excited to take on. Having grown up in the area, obviously I know the history of BGE. I know the critical service that we provide. But as you mentioned, one of the things that really excites me is the opportunity and the platform we have to make real partnerships and real differences in the communities that we serve. So that was something that was really attractive to the role to me, and was very, very excited about when I took this job.
Well, congratulations, obviously. But so the pandemic notwithstanding, I mean, I've been around Baltimore for several decades now myself, and almost everywhere I turn, anywhere I go, you see BGE's name. Not necessarily, I'm not just talking about on the meters on the side of
Right.
one's home, but your dedication to community relations and philanthropy is almost, or maybe not even almost, unequaled. So tell us a little bit about your philosophy and what's behind all of the things you're doing to help Baltimore.
Sure. So BGE was actually founded in 1816. So we are over 200 years old. As a regulated utility, we are privileged to be able to serve over 1.3 million electric customers, over 700,000 gas customers. Our belief, our DNA says that with that privilege comes great responsibility. So we are in the community. We are going to be in the community. We are a big piece providing this essential service. But one of the things that we know is to make a difference and to really impact lives, providing a critical service is one thing, and we have to do that. And we have to do so safely and reliably. But it's also critical for us to try to engage with our communities, with our customers, and find other ways to help lift them up. So when we think about our community partnerships and our involvement, we are always looking for new and creative ways to partner with different organizations, with different community associations, with our customers to find out how can we make a difference. And one of the things at BGE that we know is we don't always know what a community organization or customers necessarily need. So we really have opportunities, and we look for opportunities to go out, work with, partner, and try to see how can we fit in. And what I always tell people, David, is some people assume they know what BGE can do. What I will tell you is we can do a lot more than you think we can. We have a tremendous platform. We are very fortunate to have 3,200 men and women that work hard every day at BGE, but all of them are community minded. And it's, again, part of the DNA here at BGE. It's part of the onboarding, interviewing process. You don't really want to work at a company like BGE if you don't have that mindset that you want to give back to the community and you want to find ways to try to help lift them up. So what I would tell you is when I came into the role in December of 2019, that DNA already existed. And so as the new president and CEO at the time, my job was to find a way to make sure that still continued, which it has, and to try to find other opportunities, other partnerships, new organizations for us to partner with so that we could expand our reach and our impact.
Again, so good to hear in this day and age. Carim, when you were talking about the how old the company is, I was reminded, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall that the gas light was actually invented in Baltimore by your company. Is that correct?
That is correct. We effectively gave birth to the natural gas industry. It was invented by a gentleman named Rembrandt Peale. He was an artist, and in 1816, he created the first gas light. And the reason he did so was so that he could light up his museum at night so people could come see his artwork after they got off work. And that light is still in downtown Baltimore. And again, that was the beginning of a series of companies that eventually became BGE.
And now, of course, you're owned by Exelon, and whose CEO, our mutual friend Calvin Butler, was your predecessor.
It is absolutely correct, and it's been great. Again, he was my predecessor. When you think about the community and the partnerships during his tenure here at BGE, it was already strong, and he took it to a new level. And it's always reassuring when you have a boss, when you have a company that owns your company that is so focused on the community and trying to do these types of partnerships and build these types of relationships with communities, associations, and customers. So it's been a pleasure and been very easy to work with Calvin. And as you know, and as many of your viewers, I'm sure know, most people know Calvin in Baltimore. So if I ever need anything, I know who I can call, and he can always put me in touch with whoever I need. So it's been a treat.
He's the man, no doubt about it. Carim, I hate to ask you to do this, but there must be a couple of community partnerships, sponsorships, philanthropic relationships, perhaps that you're proudest of. In that they've been so life-changing for the other organization or for the recipients. Do you mind sharing a couple with us?
Sure, and as you mentioned, David, it's hard because there are a lot of organizations we work with. I'm very proud of the hours and the boards that all of our people sit on, the number of organizations we support. But when you think about changing lives, one that comes to mind immediately is the work that we do with some of our higher ed institutions. And so, for example, and we just announced a few weeks ago, our partnership with our HBCU partners in our region, Morgan State, Coppin State, and Bowie State. When I came into the role in December 2019, I asked the team, do we have relationships with all the institutions? So the HBCUs, UMBC, Loyola, et cetera. And what I found is we did have a relationship. We financially supported. We also sponsored their golf outing. We would go to their career fairs and try to hire some students. But in my mind, that wasn't going far enough. So what myself and the team did was we met with the presidents, we met with faculty, we met with students, alumni, even some parents, and really talked about what do the students need on campus? Where can BGE make a difference? And what we heard was, obviously scholarships are important. So we have funded scholarships. Persistence grants were also something that's very important, especially at the HBCUs. They have a large number of students that get through 2, maybe 3 years and just need a little extra help to kind of get over the hump so they can graduate. And the number of people that just can't make it and drop out is really unfortunate. So these persistence grants have really helped make a difference. And the third thing is opportunity. So when you think about these students, they need to see what types of opportunities exist for them in an industry or a company like BGE. They have to see what are the types of people, what are the types of attributes, what does it take for me to be successful at these companies? And so what we've done is we've set up regular meetings, regular events on campus, and they vary. Because again, a lot of times people think about BGE, a lot of students think about BGE and they say, I'm not an engineer or I'm not a line worker, so I don't really see myself working at BGE. And there was a young woman at UMBC I was talking to, was very impressed with, and I said, would you ever think about coming? And she said just that, I'm not an engineering major. I said, well, what is your major? What's your interest? And she said, finance. I said, did you know we have about 50 finance professionals at BGE? She said, I didn't know that. And she ended up coming and interning with us, and hopefully will come full time. That was just this past summer. But one of the things that we need to do is show people what are the opportunities for them here at BGE. One of the things, back to the HBCUs, that we've started doing is a speaker series called Black Excellence in Energy Lecture Series, where students can see other people with similar backgrounds that look like them, see what they've been able to do both at BGE and within the energy industry as a whole, and see that they have an opportunity, that it is possible for someone like them to be successful at a company like BGE or within our industry. And the feedback we've gotten has been tremendous. So when I think about one of the things that I'm most proud of is our team's ability to engage with people like the presidents, faculty, students, et cetera, at institutions or even other organizations, to ask that question, what is it that you need from BGE? How can we be helpful? And then thinking creatively of how we can meet that. Financial support is always going to be there. We're very committed to our charitable giving that we do every year. And again, sometimes people get nervous when I say, what else do you need? And I always assure them the financial support is still coming. Don't worry, I'm not getting rid of it. But what else can we do to make a real difference and make a real impact on these people's lives, and really provide them the opportunity and really the understanding of what opportunities exist for them out there, so they have something that they can shoot for and strive for.
Well, Carim, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Kudos to you and your colleagues for that. And I certainly know BGE and you well enough to know that you're interested in much more than putting your name on an event to sponsor it. You're really looking to see what type of difference you can make to make our community better. So sort of last question area, if you don't mind. So speaking of making things better and what have you, I am talking to the CEO of BGE here after all. So what's the latest in technology and the like that people can look forward to in terms of, well, you'll have to guide me. I don't know whether it's in the area of electricity delivery or billing or what, but you must have all kinds of things on the horizon for us.
No, it's all of the above, really, David. So when you think about innovation, I always tell people the first 180 years of BGE, there was a certain level of change. The amount that we've changed in the last 25 years, and even the last 5 or 10 years, has been tremendous. And as you look forward to our industry, the amount of change coming is even greater, especially as we strive to get to net carbon zero and decarbonization, which BGE is fully supportive of in terms of environmental benefits. When you think of technological advances, there's a number of things that we've done. So when you think on the operations side, we have distributed automation equipment, so things called reclosers. And these are things, think of big circuit breakers, and we put them on the line so that if a tree falls into a line, prior to having this, it could have taken out 1, 2, 3,000 people. These are breakers that will automatically trigger and will redivert the energy around so that the amount of people impacted is much smaller. Think about the storms we had this past summer. We had 2 major storms that took out 200,000. We can do the math. We can see where the automated equipment came in. Had we not had that equipment, the equipment that we put in over the last 5 years, those outages would have been more like 400,000 to 500,000 each storm. So tremendous benefit in terms of helping to get people back on and help them avoid outages much greater. We've also done a number of things in terms of data analytics. So when you think of data science and the big data, that's a big buzzword, but there's a lot of data that we can derive, and we can be predictive in terms of trying to figure out what is the equipment that's about to fail. And so when you think about equipment, like any equipment, at some point you have to replace it. You obviously replace it when it does fail, but the key is how do we find how do we leverage the data to understand how we can be predictive to say, we're seeing a few certain trends. This trend tells us that it's probably going to fail soon. So let's be proactive, replace it before an outage happens. Therefore, customers aren't interrupted. And when you do it on a proactive basis, it's always cheaper than when you do it on a reactive basis. So again, it helps save us money, which also translates to lower bills for our customers. We've also done a number of things on the environmental side. So when you think about electric vehicles, we are electrifying our own fleet. So we are big proponents of electric transportation. And like I always say, you got to walk the talk. So we are electrifying our own fleet. We have electrified a lot of our light duty vehicles, but we are also the company in the industry that's piloting a number of those large bucket trucks you see driving down the street. We have a number of electric bucket trucks that are being tested, and we are the pilot to see, do they work and can they be used in the industry? So we're really excited about that. And on the gas side, again, from an environmental standpoint, we have things like zero emission vacuum and compressor equipment. So we call it ZVAC. So think about when you're doing work on a gas main, instead of in the past, letting the gas vent, because again, you're working on the main, you have basically a vacuum that can capture that and then basically ensure that it does not go into the environment. So again, a nice way to be able to do work on the gas system and be environmentally conscious. You mentioned customer side. There's a lot of things we're doing, because what I will tell you is, as we look at our industry, our customers' expectations are changing every day. And all of our customers want to be treated differently. So some customers really enjoy calling a call center and talking to some people. Some people want to do everything through their phone on an app. So we are looking at technology and how do we leverage technology to be able to provide whatever experience it is that our customer is looking for, provide him or her with that experience. One of the things, when I got a story I tell people, David, when I got the job in December of 2019, that night, my wife and kids, it was, a happy time. We went out to dinner, we celebrated. The next morning, first thing in the morning, my wife said, I have a complaint about BGE. I want to know why do you still give me a window, an 8-hour window for service, when I can order Domino's pizza and I can see the truck and I can track it. So that's where it dawned on me that the service we provide, we are not being viewed as a utility company. We are a service providing company. So we need to be benchmarking and challenging our team to operate as well as the best customer service operators out there. Historically, I used to cite Southwest and companies like that. We'll see. Southwest had a little
maybe not so much
Christmas,
anymore.
but again, they have a strong history of customer service. You think of Southwest, you think of Nordstrom's. These are companies that have figured it out, and what can we learn from them and their experience and bring that into our industry? Because that's really what our customers are looking for. And at BGE, everything starts with the customer. When we make any decision, whether it's financial, operational, any decision, it's always about what do our customers need, what do they expect from us, and how can we do so as effectively and efficiently as possible.
And I know, historically and certainly of late, you and your colleagues are really on the cutting edge in that regard. So congratulations. It's slightly off track, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. Do you ever think about the fact that I do, everything is changing in the world of technology. One thing that hasn't changed in 100+ years is the electrical outlet in the wall of our homes, right? And is there any, in your industry, did people, because to change it would of course be, everybody, would go crazy, but do you have folks who take a look at that sort of thing and think about that?
We look at everything, and we are part of a number of different organizations researching and trying to find ways to be more effective and efficient. But David, you bring up a great point in terms of sometimes we can have a solution, but it always comes back to the customer. What would it mean to the customer? So when you think about, is it feasible to go to a low income customer and say, I need you to change out all your sockets? And right. For that, you'll get this benefit. But do they have the ability to do that? Really, it's probably what's behind the socket. What can we do to improve that so that the experience, the efficiency, the costs can go down? That's really what we're also focused on. But we are looking at everything. And one of the great things about our industry is, because we are utilities that are dedicated to a certain service territory, we share a lot across the industry. So there's a lot of sharing. There's not a competitive worry that I'm worried that Pico up in Philadelphia is going to come and try to steal my customers. So unlike a retail company or other competitive company, we have that benefit that across the industry, we are sharing all the time. Plenty of industry groups, associations that we're part of, that we're sharing what technological advances are we seeing, what things have we tried that have worked, and importantly, what has not worked, so we don't make the same mistakes that some of our other utilities have made. And so these are the kinds of ways we can learn and we can benefit our customers by taking the best of what we see others doing and also developing the best of what we can do and bringing that to our customers to make sure that they have safe and reliable power. And also, we also do the same kind of thing in terms of community engagement. what are other people doing and what are the types of programs that they're offering their communities that BGE can do the same here in Baltimore.
Well, let's not, you and I, start a rumor that we're going to be advocating for changing the electrical outlet in people's homes. That would be solving a problem that actually doesn't exist. So,
right.
Listen, Carim, I just want to, thank you for your leadership at BGE. We're lucky in the Baltimore metro area we're lucky to have you, and we're really lucky to have your firm and your thousands of employees. If someone just wants to learn more about BGE, where do they go to do that?
So you can go on the website bge.com and you'll see there is a link, and it's bgenow.com is where you'll see a number of different stories, a number of different things that we do. And what I encourage everyone is, if you think there's a way that BGE can help, please reach out to us. A lot of times we can do a lot of things that people don't realize we can do. The other thing is we have a lot of relationships. Everyone is stronger when we come together. So when I think about, how do we really make a true difference in our communities, it's not us working with one organization. It's us partnering with 3 or 4 other companies, with 2 or 3 other organizations, and coming and figuring out what does that community need and how can we help. And so I think there's a real opportunity. I think there is so much potential for Baltimore. Obviously, I grew up here. I love Baltimore. I'm excited about what the future holds, and whatever we can do at BG to help, we're all in.
Well, with much appreciation, and thank you for your time today. And obviously, you got the memo about the blue plaid sport coat and white shirt.
I will tell you, David, I'm innovative in a lot of ways. My wardrobe's not one of them. It's blue suits and white shirts. That's what I wear every day.
Nor mine. So we share that quality. Carim, thank you so much for your time today.
All right, thank you.
Our guest today has been Carim Khouzami, President and CEO of BGE. Thank you for watching, and until the next time, this is David Nevins for Citybiz List.